It's as big as any environmental issue that we're facing in this world.
The enormity of the problem is that there are no large-scale cleanup solutions for plastic.
I mean, the problem is getting worse and worse, and it's almost at the point of no return now. So
we really believe this to be one of the biggest global problems that we're going through. We certainly don't believe that there's enough attention and capacity and resource being given to try and find solutions.
You go to Mozambique, you go to Seychelles, wherever you go, microplastics and just plastic is found on any deserted beach. And that's now. If we give it another 5-10 years, where do we find ourselves?
I got into the project in 2017 where we facilitated the first pilots in one of the tributaries from the Umgeni River. And the whole idea behind the project is by installing a Litterboom, which is really just a plastic HDPE pipe across the river, are we able to effectively intercept the plastic coming down the river higher upstream so that we're not having to deal with the problem on the beaches, in the oceans. And since then, we had our pilot. It was very successful. We had 2 staff that were employed for a year, and they managed to collect about 15,000 kilograms of plastic. And from there, I knew that there was an opportunity to sort of scale the model. So from there, it's really just been a case of identifying, some of the most polluted rivers around South Africa, and specifically in Durban and in Cape Town, and being able to put teams strategically in places where we can intercept the plastic and also be able to remove it from the river and obviously recycle it as well. What's important to us is the whole ecosystem and how everything works, making sure that we can offset as much plastic from landfill sites as we can, and also being able to systematically work our way upriver and put more and more litter booms and teams in place so that we can effectively reduce the amount of plastic getting to the ocean.
And on a daily basis, I coordinate my team, see where they're at, because each team works a certain area and they got about 3 or 4 booms per area. So we just got to coordinate to make sure that all the booms are getting serviced, and basically they collect on site, sort on site, and we kind of monitor the levels at each of these booms. And then from then we take it to the recycling center.
One of the cornerstones of this project are the teams that work in the project itself, and all of them are obviously employed from local communities around the river that we're working in. So it's really important that we integrate that as part of the long-term solution, because it's these communities that ideally want their area to be clean. I think a lot of the time there's this hands up in the air approach where they know they're not getting the services that they should be getting. But if we can go into those areas and create a better system and allow for interception at a community level and at a river level, it's creating jobs in the communities. It's obviously protecting the environment, protecting the ocean. It's really just a win all around.
With this project, I've learned a lot. I've always wanted to work for something like nature conservation. No one has done a lot of this kind of work in my family. So for me, doing this work, it's an amazing feeling. It's a great thing for them.
So for us, it's really important to focus on working upstream, whilst our teams are working to prevent plastic from reaching the ocean. We recognize in order for us to be really effective, we need to move our efforts as close to the source of the problem as we can, and ideally be able to prevent plastic pollution from reaching the rivers at all as well.
It's very important. It's very important. If we ignore this, come on, who's gonna do this job? Because everyone seems like is not caring for our oceans and rivers nowadays.
I've got kids, and I'm just worried about what the next generation is going to have to face if we don't start really throwing everything we have at it. What are we leaving for our next generation?